What's going on, world? I go by the name of Ty Won, hanging with my home girl,
Avi J.
Yes, rocking with the best. It's episode 2 of the You're Not Wrong podcast. We're going to go ahead and get into it. Got some dope new music we want to talk about, talk about the Super Bowl and everything that's just been going on and in the culture right now. So,
yeah.
Man. So I want to get into, did you check out the Nicki Minaj and Lil Baby joint?
Yeah, they song Bussin. It was a decent song, like Lil Baby and Nicki Minaj. Don't get me wrong, they are both great rappers. They both have talent, but just to be honest, I sincerely don't think they have that type of chemistry. Not to say that it's a bad song, but it's just that they just seem like they have two different types of flows and two different types of chemistries. Like Nicki Minaj, of course, we already know that Nicki, she's one of the GOATs. She's one of the coldest female rappers that's been in the game. So it's kind of like she has the versatility to make a good track with anybody, but it's just the fact that when you hear Nicki, she just has this rawness about herself. She just has this, I don't know. It's like she has a certain energy that's like just filled with fire, And Lil Baby, don't get me wrong, he's not a bad artist, but it just seems like he doesn't mesh or fit with Nicki, if that makes sense.
I disagree. I think that one out of the two records was really like the standout and the dope joint. Do we have a problem? That's one I've been bumping like on repeat and been bumping real heavy for the past week or so. I think that album is really dope, and the video was dope too. I didn't check out the Bussin' video. It's kind of crazy. Nicki was saying like her and her husband or whatever been making love to that joint and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe in that context it could be used well. But I think that definitely do we have a problem is the standout between the two. Bussin', I don't know. I didn't really get into that one as much. It's cool, but I definitely think that it's it's definitely necessary though, like that she's tapping in with a Lil Baby. Like he's one of those artists. I feel like Nicki's a legend, but if you want to stay current and stay hot amongst the youth, Lil Baby is the type of guy that you need to be tapping in with. I definitely think that do we have a problem joint is fire. That's a really dope, strong song.
Why would somebody that's as relevant as Nicki need somebody younger to stay relevant? Like, you don't see Beyonce saying, "Oh, I need to make a song with Lil Baby or Trey Songz to stay relevant."
Yeah,
you don't see Beyonce saying like, "Oh, I got to work with a new artist to stay relevant." Beyonce will just put out a random album, a random visual album at that, out of nowhere, and the whole internet will go crazy.
Well, I mean, that's R&B. I think R&B works a little bit different. I feel like R&B, you don't have to, necessarily stay hot amongst the new younger R&B singers. But she has attached herself to the youth. I don't know if Chloe and Haley, do they have any joints with Beyonce? I'm not sure.
They're her mentees, her proteges, but they don't even have a song with her.
Yeah, but they opened up for her tour on the Run 2 tour. I went to that. I remember they were opening. Oh. But also, to actually, Beyonce has tapped in with that younger audience because she hopped on the what's the Megan Thee Stallion joint that she hopped on?
Savage.
She hopped on a Savage joint, and that was Beyonce
that's true, yeah.
Tapping in with the young, hometown hero, but her being the OG hometown.
And there was Houston. A challenge, the TikTok Savage dance challenge. Now that you bring that up, that makes sense.
They make their, Beyonce, she makes her classic R&B joints, but she has her joints like, Flawless or, the Ape or whatever, like the her and Jay-Z collaboration. What was the one? Pretty in it, yeah, throw their hands high, pretty itty girls.
The song was that?
In the air. Like that. Like I don't know exactly all the words, but like just that melody. Yeah, that melody and the bounce to it is.
I ain't thinking about.
Yeah. That
I
joint.
Ain't sorry.
Like that's
song?
right. I ain't sorry. Right. Like that's a more current feel. Like that's one of her more recent albums, but she still that flow and the overall feel of that song kind of taps in with with the youth and what's going on now. It's not like a Crazy in Love or a Halo or whatever, more traditional like Beyonce song.
Mm-hmm.
You got to incorporate your classic songs and classic sound and your what your fans really like, but you also got to tap into what's current too. So I just think that's all with the Beyonce with
You
Megan,
mentioned that
or
with R&B
Nicki
singers, though.
Nicki and Lil Baby.
Would
Yeah.
would a Jay-Z or a Nas need somebody that's young? Would Jay-Z or Nas need Lil Baby on their track?
No, but
or
Nas,
the Baby on their track?
Nas has a joint with Dirk on the King's Disease 1. He has a joint with Dirk.
But something about Dirk is a little different than Lil
Yeah,
Baby,
but I'm saying
though.
that's tapping in.
But yeah,
he got
That is
he
a
had
tap
5-year
in.
form. He had 5-year form on that album. Like that's just another like an OG in the game, but still tapping in with the youth. I just feel like that balance, like. You know, you need that. I feel like as an older artist, so that you don't lose touch, because you could end up, you know, kind of losing yourself and like being out of touch with the culture. You know, it's still like it's all a game to stay relevant and reinventing yourself. You know, just like you got the the Kanye and Lil Baby joint with Hurricane. You got Drake and Lil Baby have a few records together. It's always the bigger artists and the more OG artists having to stay tapped in with that younger generation. But
well, you ain't wrong.
You're not wrong either. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And man, moving on to something else. So, what you think about 2 Chainz' album?
2 Chainz album.
Do you think he delivered or?
I would say 2 Chainz delivered.
Okay.
But one thing I'll say about that 2 Chainz albums, I won't say it's like a classic. But I will say it's a good album because, like, when it comes to 2 Chainz, when we think of him, we think of somebody that's fun to listen to. We think of somebody that, when you're ready to have a drink, when you're ready to dance, when you're ready to, like, just enjoy yourself. You can always throw on some 2 Chainz. And, he has some bangers in there, like, Neighbors Know My Name, all that. So it's like with 2 Chainz, I would say that was a really decent album. Not a classic, but it was something for his audience, something to give us. Like, I feel like it definitely fed what needed to be fed with his audience.
Yeah, I definitely think he delivered as well. A couple of the standout joints to me is Bet It Back. There was a couple of lines on there I liked. $1 Million Worth of Game. I thought
that song was cold,
dope.
yeah.
Free BG. I like the Vlad TV joint with Stove God Cooks and Simba.
And his features, had a feature with Sway Lee.
Yeah, he got a line on there or something like put the boxing gloves on, I'll show you how to beat the case. Like, he just always has those like kind of comedic and just like clever, quotable punchlines. That's what I can always count on 2 Chainz for, us to deliver some dope quotables.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna say, I think it's kind of too early to be throwing around the name classic, but it's definitely a solid album. His past 2 albums have been pretty solid. I like that. What was the last 2 Chainz album called? Man, the one where he's got the let me see, what was the name of that album? But the joint with Fell Away with Kanye and all that on it. 2 Chainz. So Help Me God. That joint was dope. That came out just like a year, like a little over a year ago. But people, I feel like the past couple albums people been sleeping on. Like they've been he been kind of buzzing with the with the Moneybagg Yo and Beat King feature single to pop music, but like I don't know, like I feel like it's not his stuff isn't like, I don't know, it's not hitting like kind of like how like No Lie or Birthday Song or I'm Different, like he like those big singles. I'm so used to having him having like a big single. I feel like pop music is kind of slowly getting there though, and I feel like maybe when I get back outside more and go to the club or something, I could really like get
I think to really experience a 2 Chainz album, you have to be out and about. Like when you're out and you are just enjoying life and you have other people's energy to feed off of, like 2 Chainz, it really like hits. He has a lot of, like, listening to his music, it can bring some fellowship around because it's just people having fun. He doesn't talk too much about, drama. He talks about enjoying yourself.
Right, and I like Kingpin Ghostwriter, the joint with Lil Baby. I like that joint. The drums on there kind of remind me of Welcome to Atlanta with Ludacris and JD.
Oh, yeah.
Like the logo.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
just like how he
dun,
sampled that
dun.
Laffy Taffy beat.
Yeah, like the Laffy Taffy, that was dope. I could see 2 Chainz. That was like a funny hip-hop, early 2000s hip-hop song.
It was a fun song, and now he made it into something a little more smooth, which is cool about 2 Chainz.
And 2 Chainz makes, I could have heard like 2 Chainz on the original of that though too, because 2 Chainz is
you got
like that.
And isn't 2 Chainz from Atlanta, right?
Right. So I can I can see why he sampled that joint. But overall, it's a solid album. I'm still riding to it, still listening to it. But overall, I'm satisfied with this album. I definitely think 2 Chainz delivered. So
So were you satisfied with Future's latest single, Worst Day?
Future Worst Day.
Featuring Kevin Samuels,
I know,
Dr.
right?
Kevin
Yeah,
Samuels
it's just
for
crazy
healing.
how he talks about Future gets labeled as like this toxic,
Misogynist.
right? Like just this heartbreaker, this womanizer. But like he's literally in the interview with Kevin Samuels talking about like how I think he spent like over 150,000.
He said, "How much you spend?" He said 2 or 3.
Yeah.
He's like 1,000 million.
That's just
On
that's
women.
crazy. That's crazy on women. Like he just. Guess he want to give him a little Birkin bag, some red bottoms or whatever.
What Future says is to Kevin Samuels is that when he sees women that he finds beautiful, he just feels, he wants to spoil them. So I guess like, someone like Future, I guess like his provider instincts get like really triggered when he sees a woman that he finds attractive. And Kevin is trying to break it all down. But not to say, I wouldn't say in all honesty, I'm not much of a Kevin Samuels fan at all, but I thought it was really cool how they did have somebody as controversial as Kevin Samuels, as well as someone who's controversial like Future, together on a song just to talk about things that men probably actually feel. As a woman, I have no idea how men feel when they're dating. So just to hear somebody like Future just say stuff like that, I never, you never really know.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Future's got hit with that stigma. You see all the memes about him, like,
and he does romantic stuff
like
too.
like just crazy stuff, like, I'm just calling it wish you a happy holiday, but not trying to get back together or nothing. But tell your mom I said hi.
Being manipulative.
It's just like those stupid little.
They make memes of him being manipulative as well as being toxic.
Yeah.
And then like even though like if you like listen to a lot of Future's music, he has a lot of. He's multifaceted, just like how Kanye West is multifaceted. He's not just one way all the time.
Right.
Like Future talks about how he wants to take care of somebody, but he also will talk about how, I don't even care about these women. Like I can see how he treats different people differently, and not saying that's a good or a bad thing. That's just who he is. Just like how a woman might treat a man like Barack Obama completely different from how she treat a guy like Future, or different from how she treat a Russell Wilson, or different from an Andre 3000 or a Kanye. Like, yeah, when it comes to people, you have to use your discernment, because Future, you would see like some of his ex-girlfriends, like Sierra, Lori Harvey. Yeah, he might not have been the best guy, but can most women say that they have received the same romantic things that Sierra and Lori Harvey has received from Future from their boyfriend?
Tell Steve Harvey I don't want to. I just
like if you were to see how Future would talk about, I want to spoil you and I want to treat your friends.
Right.
Are these other guys that are so anti-Future? Are they doing that?
Right now,
are they providing and protecting like Future is?
The piggyback off that off the whole Sierra Russell Wilson thing. So Drake hosted like a Super Bowl party.
Sure did.
And brought Future out as a surprise guest, and it was rumors that as soon as Future popped up, Russell Wilson got out of there. Like they got
bounced
out of there. So it's just crazy how even now, like man, they broke up almost 10 years ago now, and it's still
like 10 years ago,
like 2014, and it's still like this whole toxic, gotta get away from your ex type thing. This is crazy, but I mean, I thought the song was decent. It's not. It's cool. It was a smooth joint. It's not like the banger or not that I usually anticipate from Future, but I'm excited to just have new music from Future. I'm it's time for him,
because it's not really a club banger.
It's almost been 2 years since his Life Is Good album, so he's due for a new project, a new album. He's giving us some features and stuff.
And for the most part, he's consistent.
Yeah,
for the most part, he's relatively consistent.
Yeah. Future, he usually delivers, so I'm looking forward to.
Do you think Pusha T delivered? With Diet Coke?
Wow, way to switch gears. Man, Diet Coke. I'm almost always a little bit of a Pusha T. I got a little bit of disdain towards Pusha T because of his hate towards Drake and Wayne. I'm such a big Drake and Wayne fan. It's kind of hard for me to rock with Pusha T. But man, it was cool. Pusha T. It's a Pusha T record. It's lyrical. It's hard. It's interesting that 88 Keys produced that beat over 18 years ago, and it doesn't really sound dated. Like sometimes when producers been saying they've been holding on to songs for this long or that long, and it finally comes out. A lot of times it sounds dated, but it seems like that seems to be like a recurring theme with the Pusha T and that clips the whole camp because the grinding beat. They said that the producer, I remember that, said he had that beat for like 10 years. Mm-hmm. And then they finally dropped that, and that was like a massive hit. I remember everybody, doing the grind to beat with their knuckles on the table or on the school bus and stuff. So, it just seems like, they camp. Sometimes they hold on to stuff for a while. But it's cool. I thought it was funny the way Kanye was dancing in the video. Kind of remind me of like Puffy and like Mace. Or
like those back in the day videos. Like Put Some Flavor in Your Ear, that video, how it was black and white.
No, Pusha T's got his, he's got his lane. He's got his audience. I think his audience is definitely will be pleased with the record. I like this. It's been a while since we got a Pusha T project too. His Daytona album was decent. I rocked with a few joints on there. So yeah, Pusha T. It was straight. It was cool.
Yeah, and I'm a Pusha T fan a bit, like I'm not going to say I'm a big Pusha T fan, but one thing I'll say is he is a great storyteller. He is an excellent lyricist, and to see him and Kanye West together, it kind of put me back in that good music era, back in 2012 when we had Cruel Summer, back when we had like tracks like Don't Like, and you heard, Chicago artists, Detroit artists, shout outs to Big Sean, when you hear all these different artists just come together and just give you guys something raw. And that's what I like about Pusha T is like, he makes songs for, he's basically considered one of the OGs.
No, definitely.
Yes, so I think it's dope to have him still continuing to make music, like I think that when it comes to hip hop, he may not be mainstream as like someone like Chance the Rapper or something, but, he's underground and he's like really he just gives you that raw, unfiltered type of hip hop music.
Yeah, you definitely need him a part of the culture, though.
He's part of the culture, yeah.
Rap was, made off
like
of beef,
Clips,
so
Neptune.
The fact that, you want to go, if you're going to beef with somebody, it's good to beef with the
top
rappers
dogs.
That's at the top. Yeah, you're not going to shoot no shots
and it
at
was
people on the same level as
a
you
hard
or
thing.
below. So, I get it. But, it's looking like, Pusha T.
He came
he's
strong
coming with
at
something.
Drake,
Yeah, he's
though.
going to be coming with something. Yeah.
That was real hard and strong how he came at Drake.
He did. Unfortunately, me being a huge Drake fan, Drake took the L in that beef. But hopefully Pusha T will focus on just making a good album, and I don't have to hear no more subs of Drake on there.
You say he took the L?
We just got to move on from that,
Wasn't upset like the response to the Pusha T. They said, like, I remember reading that even though Pusha T did diss Drake about, having a baby by a stripper as well as being in blackface, that when he made the song Upset, when he made it like the Grassy video, that was in a way his comeback. Instead of like dissing him, he just made a video that was so good and such and so like reminiscent, where people could feel nostalgic by seeing the Grassy, the show he came from. That was more so his comeback.
Yeah, I mean, I a little bit, but I mean, I'm upset. He wasn't really. I didn't hear no disses towards Pusha in that.
Yeah,
song.
not to diss Pusha T, but instead of
just to kind of respond
to respond back, I'm just gonna make a really great song with a really great video.
Yeah,
that's gonna make people think about the video.
Yeah, even the whole album was like he definitely changed a lot of things on that Scorpion album. To kind of in response to that. But I just hope moving forward though, like that's old. Hopefully Pusha T, just makes a dope album or whatever. And I don't want to hear. I'm not interested in hearing no more Drake disses. So I didn't really peep any in that song. I don't know if it's.
Oh yeah, he didn't sub or anything.
Hopefully,
you ain't gonna hear a response from Drake.
We don't that beef. Hopefully that beef is dead. Kanye and Drake solved their problems, so they should be cool.
But if somebody dissing Drake encourages him to make great videos and great songs, I don't know if I'm gonna be that mad.
I feel you. But what about the Super Bowl? Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Oh yeah, I saw the Super Bowl and I saw the halftime show and I saw 50 Cent looking like a whole dollar.
Everybody's like doing these fat shaming things on 50 Cent. Like
he is a bully.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's ready for the smoke because he gives the smoke. Like he may be a bully, but he's not a hypocrite.
Okay.
So you can't really be too mad.
Yeah, I mean, 50's performance was definitely a surprise, but I feel that I just wanted to see more of Eminem, and I heard that I read that the reason why Eminem's set was cut short was because they wanted to make room for 50 Cent. But I feel like Eminem, he just did Lose Yourself or whatever. Like he could have he could have did so many more joints, like maybe like Stan or Real Slim Shady. You know, he could have did a couple more joints. I feel like Eminem made a strong statement though with the taking a knee. Mm-hmm. Like, and I guess it was reported that he told the producers or whatever for the halftime show that it was a possibility that he was going to do it, so they were prepared for it. But it's like, even though like, hey, we taking this performance opportunity, we're gonna get up here and represent hip hop, but we still didn't forget about all the injustice and the police brutality going on in our country. So let me make this statement real quick. You know, I just looked at it like that. You know, so I think it was dope. Overall, the performance was dope. I heard some people saying, you know, oh, it's the greatest Super Bowl halftime show ever, but I wouldn't take it that far.
The greatest.
It's up there.
It's good, but it won't.
It's up there as far as like hip hop finally being represented.
Yeah, in that way, yeah.
But I ain't saying it's the greatest.
Because it wasn't.
Yeah. What would you say was the greatest Super Bowl halftime performance?
All right.
Give me your top three.
Top three. I wouldn't be able to give a third, but I do know the first one I would say is Michael Jackson, because, I mean, Michael Jackson's he was just an excellent performer. He just displayed excellence throughout everything he did. Second, I am a huge Beyonce fan. The 2013 Beyonce Super Bowl was one of my favorite Super Bowls. It was basically a concert with a football game. No shade to the Super Bowl. But Beyonce, she showed up and showed out for the Super Bowl in 2013.
Okay.
And third, I don't even know what I'd say would be a third, honestly.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, I would say the Super Bowl performance we had, you know, we had great talent with Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent, Mary J. Blige, you know, Kendrick Lamar. I mean, it's great seeing hip-hop culture out on the Super Bowl. But in all honesty, that Super Bowl performance, I think they probably could have had a better budget for it and gave them some more money for it, because I think they could have performed even better. Like, it looked like they were on, like, a 30-foot trailer. A 30-foot white trailer, and they all were just dancing in different rooms. You know, I think they could have been so much more creative with the Super Bowl. I think that with those great talents, they could have put in so much more creativity towards it. You know, I think it could have been so much more creative. You know, and I think it didn't do, like, even though the talent was great, I feel like whatever they had to work with, it didn't give them the justice that it could have given them.
Yeah, I kind of disagree. I thought the stage was dope. It wasn't overdoing it, but it didn't underdo it for me either. I like the stage design and how everybody had their section. Like Eminem popped up on one side of the stage. You had 50 Cent pop up, you know, from the ceiling on one part of the stage. Dr. Dre was doing it. Snoop Dogg were doing their thing from up top. Then he got on the piano for a little bit. Then Kendrick, you know, popped out with the dancers and everything, did his thing. Man, but I thought the performance was really dope. I think it was great that hip hop finally got a chance to be represented at the Super Bowl. Like, I think like Nelly's made a cameo before on one of the Super Bowls. Like, we've had Missy Elliott. Like, we've had little tidbits of hip hop there, but this is the first time it's been like, you know, headlining the main attraction, like going all out. And by it being in LA, it made sense that they had, you know, Dr. Dre, Snoop, Kendrick. You know, I was disappointed that Kendrick did not drop a new single.
And how long has it been?
Man, I was like, Kendrick Lamar is like retired at this point. Like,
so what do you think was even the point of him being up there?
I'm gonna say just him being on the West Coast. Like, he deserved. I'm not mad at Kendrick being there.
Because, like, I mean, the game could have been on there if that's the case.
Yeah, nah. The Kendrick's more diverse, got more commercial appeal.
Yeah,
you know, he's Grammy Award winning, Pulitzer Award winning. You know, he's To Pimp a Butterfly is deemed as like a classic album, and is, you know, has a Pulitzer Prize and stuff like that. He's just as far as the culture is concerned, and just him having impact on a global scale. You know, it's people that probably don't even listen to hip hop like that, but they listen to Kendrick Lamar because how, you know, powerful and poetic his music is. So I can see why him being up there on that type of platform, he's definitely earned it. I'm not saying that, but I just think it would have made sense for him to like drop an album or something, either right before or right after his performance, at least drop a single or something for us to not have gotten any new music from the performance.
Like, we got excited for nothing.
Yeah, it was like it was cool, but I feel like he still should have dropped something. But
and what do you think of Jhené Aiko when she sang "America the Beautiful"?
You know what? I missed that one. She sung that?
Yeah, she sung America the Beautiful. She said she sung it in key F.
Okay, did she do that before the game started?
Whatever time they play America the Beautiful. I ended up YouTubing it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I missed that one. I didn't even see that one.
Yeah, because I missed it too, so I just YouTubed it. So,
okay. Yeah,
because people were talking about it. A lot of people said that it was beautiful, and some people said that out of all of the R&B singers, they probably should have had someone with a stronger voice. You know, so I think Jhené Aiko, I love Jhené Aiko. I think she has a gorgeous voice. I think she's a beautiful woman. And I think she has a great spirit and a good energy. But when it comes to something like the Super Bowl, I do think that somebody else would have been a better fit. Like, I honestly would have liked to see Ari Lennox sing something like that for the Super Bowl. I think there are a lot of other R&B singers that really would have, who also would deserve that same opportunity, who would have been more of a better fit that could have showed just the power of a black voice. Not to say Jhené Aiko didn't, but I just would say somebody might be with stronger vocals might have been a better fit.
Better choice, but again, like, I don't know who would you say is the strongest vocalist from LA? Because I think the whole theme about that performance was keeping it West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Because she's from LA. So that's why I'm like, you know, that's probably I feel like the theme with the performance was to keep it either you were a Dr. Dre affiliate or you from LA. Like pretty much everybody that performed was an LA native with the exception of Eminem. So
I don't think wasn't Mary J. Blige from New York?
Yeah, that's true, but she's queen of hip hop, so that's just keeping it hip hop. I mean, I think I'm sure Dr. Dre produced some of her songs and stuff. Like, I guess you're right. Like, she's from New York too. So, but besides Mary J and Eminem, they're part of hip hop, so that makes sense why they were there. But Jhené Aiko being there, she's like one of the new generation queens of the West. So it makes sense why she was there.
It says Tinashe's from LA as well.
Yeah,
but Tinashe hasn't really been making much.
Yeah, she hasn't put out anything. It wouldn't. No, I love Tinashe.
I do like Tinashe. I think she slept on, if anything.
But she hasn't put out anything like that would grant her, I feel like, a Super Bowl performance.
It says Mariah Carey's from L.A. Keisha Cole.
Yeah, Mariah, yeah.
Mariah Carey, Keisha Cole.
Yeah, but they just, again, I think they just tapping in with the younger generation.
Yeah, because Jhené Aiko is, she is, like, really recognized out here.
So I think that's just kind of what it had to do with it. But overall, I was pleased. I'm going to say that. It
was good. It was an overall good performance.
My top 3 Super Bowl performances, I'm gonna say, are Michael Jackson. Then I'm gonna have to put the Janet on there with the
and you guys know
Justin
why
Boob ripoff. I'm gonna have to go with that. Like every man loves that performance. And then I'm gonna go with my third best.
Beyonce.
Yeah, I guess you could put Beyonce performed on there a couple times, but yeah, I guess you could put B on there. I guess I don't really have a third either, but definitely no. I'm gonna say this is the third. Beyonce is up there.
Bruno Mars.
I'm gonna say this is the third. Hip hop head. I'm bugging. We gotta represent hip hop. Hip hop was finally represented. It was done right. We finally got this platform. I'm gonna put this as the third best. You can kind of maybe squeeze Beyonce in there too, but I'm gonna say, yeah, Mike, Janet, and then Snoop and Drake. This last one, beautiful.
You know what, Snoop was? It was cool seeing Snoop on the halftime.
He was up there walking.
He was up there dancing. He was being Snoop.
I heard they was trying to get him to light a blunt up there. That would have been crazy, but he definitely represented.
Yeah, he like brings so much light everywhere he goes.
He kept the energy up.
So yeah,
he went crazy. So, man, did you have a chance to check out that Kanye West documentary?
Oh my goodness! Now that was a true. That was a Chicago story right there. It even made me feel a little sentimental, to be honest, because just seeing how Kanye West just started from the beginnings, just seeing him out in Chicago back in the earlier 2000s, late 90s, seeing him just coming up, seeing places in Chicago that I've walked by, hearing him talk about people that, still are out in the community, like shout outs to Rhyme Fest. It's just amazing seeing how Chicago talent is just seeing the truth, how Chicago talent is displayed. Even just seeing them kicking it, playing pool. They're listening to an R. Kelly interview, in Chicago, talking talking mess about it. Just like how people in Chicago do, like R. Kelly was somebody that's been around in Chicago, and, everybody has something to say about him. And just to hear, black people together, just, Kanye West, just being a regular Chicago cool guy, it's refreshing. Yeah, seeing him before he turned Hollywood.
I think it was dope. Probably the most powerful thing, I actually went to the movies and saw it at the premiere last week. The most powerful thing that he said in there is when he's staring out the window at the GCI Music Summit and at the Hyatt Regency, and he's just looking over at the skyline, looking downtown. And he's like, man, somehow, he said he wanted to spend his entire life in Chicago and just somehow made things happen. And it's just like, that was just kind of powerful to hear him say, because I always thought like Kanye's like, I'm out of Chicago, like done. Cause I'm like, I always kind of was hard on Kanye about like not doing more for Chicago and not having more of a presence here. Like he seemed like he only pops up like when he has a tour here or whatever. But recently he's been doing a lot more, like with the Down to Listening event. He was just here like a few weeks ago with the Donda Doves basketball game at the UIC Pavilion. Like he's doing more things here now, the Sunday service. But like for a while, it was a certain time period where it's like, unless he had a concert here, you didn't even hear or see about Kanye in Chicago. But, to hear him say that, like, kind of gave me a different insight like that. Back then, late 90s, early 2000s, like, besides, Common or maybe, Twista on the Underground, there was nobody that went really all the way to the top, like on the where Kanye was trying to get to, get to that next level. Like record labels and stuff at that time was looking for the next Jay-Z, looking for the next DMX, looking for the next Snoop Dogg or whatever. Mm-hmm. And because Kanye didn't really have that gangster persona, they didn't think he fit in with that, but he ended up being coming right up after Jay. And another powerful thing he said in that I liked, it was like, Jay-Z is more than, just a rapper. He's an icon. He's a mogul. And he was saying, like, a lot of times artists think that if you come up behind another big artist, you won't be as big. But he's like, he's about taking advantage of his opportunities. He was saying, like, I can be just as big, if not bigger, coming up under Jay. Like, he looked at the golden opportunity in it. Like, he didn't look at it like, oh, I'm going to be pigeonholed down or whatever. And he made it work. He was going in there to those offices and he's playing his music for the A&Rs at Def Jam and Rockefeller, and they not paying him any attention. Like the early version of All Falls Down, which is a hit record, mm-hmm. one of Kanye's biggest hits in his catalog. And to think like, the first person he played it for, she was just looking at him like, why is this fool playing this in my office? Like, why is she even wasting my time with it? At least the girl, I think her name was Carlene, she at least was nodding her head, quoting some of the lyrics back to him like, oh, this is dope. But, even Biggs, one of the founders, Rockefeller, he's laying on the couch. He wasn't even paying him no attention either. But Kanye didn't take no for an answer. That's just the thing that I saw about it. Like, he's the type, if you don't let him in the door, he's going to bust the door down. And if he busts the door down, he going to, set the roof on fire. Like, he just took that mentality. He just wasn't going to take no for an answer. And it's just crazy how, like, these higher ups in the label, were the reason why he couldn't get signed. It was always somebody. It was a guy at Capitol Records. I think the guy name was Hip Hop or whatever. Like he wanted to sign Kanye. It was a guy over at Rockers Records who's like, man, I wanted you, boy, to be over here with us, but you gonna get it. You gonna figure it out. Because he was just like, man, you the bridge between the streets and like a Rockers Records. Like Kanye was like, he believes he was the bridge of the gap between Rockers and Rockefeller. Like, he got the stuff that can feed the streets, then he got the stuff, for the more lyrical,
the spiritual
hip-hop heads as well. But it just goes to show that, sometimes you just got to be patient, you got to grind it out, and you just got to believe in yourself and stick to your guns and what you want to do. Like, no matter how many people tell you no, don't stop until you get that yes. So that was the biggest thing I got out of it. And it was a very, very dope documentary to see him out and about on the south side of Chicago, like just going to Leon's barbecue, hanging out on Stoney, hanging out on his mom's front porch on 79th and South Shore Drive, and people saying, Kanye, is he from the suburbs? He not really from the city. And he like, bro, I'm from 79th and South Shore. Like, he was like,
he stayed on 87th Street.
Yeah, like he like, bro, I didn't move to to the burbs like at the high school, and then when he did move, he was standing on 119th. He's like, he didn't have no silver spoons. Like, people just think that like he had money and all that. Like he had to get his stuff, and grind it out too. He got his version of getting it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really had to grind it out too. It just wasn't easy. It didn't happen as easy as it may appear in the way people had tried to make it appear. So I thought it was dope. Man, great documentary. I'm looking forward to the next episode. So.
Yeah, like I'm really looking forward to it too, because if anything, I would say that it's something that's really inspirational. Just seeing how Kanye just came from the bottom and risen to the top. Like, something that he mentioned is like how he was basically being played. Like, there were times throughout his whole journey of becoming the rapper, the fashion icon, the producer that he is, there were people that would try to exploit him for his beats. And he originally started making beats so he would have something to rap over.
Right, exactly.
That's literally how it started. He wanted some beats to rap over, so he created his own. On top of what Ty said, about just knocking the door down, there's times Kanye created his own doors. He created his own beats. He created his own brand, basically. Kanye West. And when people didn't even have the last name in there, he was even like, hey, they don't even have my last name up there. If they gonna put Kanye, they might as well just put Ye. Like, Kanye already had a sense of certainty and not even just certainty, but just this true faith in his craft.
Okay.
If anything, it's like he was just fulfilling his purpose by any means necessary, which is something that's very admirable about Kanye West. And I can understand why, like, people would talk about Kanye being arrogant. Even though he was at the bottom, he still had faith in himself. And Donda, his mother, she even mentioned, yeah, you could come across as arrogant. But she mentioned that he is the type of person that just believes in himself. And that, of course, it can be taken that way. I'm pretty sure she probably mentioned more about that. I remember you recently just rewatched it.
Yeah, I didn't really get to finish rewatching the whole thing, but yeah, she was, a
motivating force.
Yeah, she was definitely a motivating force, and she believed. Like, he even, he said in the song, like, Mama said, go to school, get your doctorate, but still supported me when I did the opposite. Like, he put that in his, I think that was on Late Registration, the second album. He always talked about, the support that his mother gave, and it was just good to see, that footage and just how close their bond was as mother and son, because his mom passed away, unfortunately. So
yeah, and
just got to see how close they actually really were. But it's looking like we're running out of time.
Yeah,
so
it is.
Well,
thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Well, you're not wrong. Podcast episode 2. It's Ty Won and Avi. We'll be back next week with more hot topics and our review on the hottest and current events going on in hip hop right now. Peace.
Adios.